Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin shows a clear uptrend, consistently testing and breaking through resistance levels. The RSI readings, though fluctuating, have generally been trending upwards, indicating strengthening momentum. The Bollinger Bands show price action expanding within the bands, suggesting increased volatility and potential for further price movement. Given the current forecast prices hovering around $91,000 to $91,500, a long position is warranted. We will employ a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Band signals. Entry price will be $90,900, with a stop loss set at $89,500 to protect against a potential pullback. The initial target price will be $93,800, aligning with the recent resistance level. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate a dynamic target adjustment based on the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the upper band, we will take partial profits at $93,800 and move the stop loss to break even. This will help to lock in gains while allowing the position to run further if the uptrend continues. If the RSI reaches 80, indicating overbought conditions, we will also consider taking partial profits and tightening the stop loss. This layered approach will maximize potential returns while minimizing risk, capitalizing on the current bullish momentum in Bitcoin. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a clear upward trend, breaking through the resistance level of $3,150 and reaching $3,290. The RSI indicates a fluctuating momentum, currently around 52.5, suggesting a potential for further upside. The Bollinger Bands are widening, indicating increasing volatility and potential price movement. The forecast for the next week predicts a slight downward correction, but overall maintains a bullish sentiment. Therefore, I propose a long position strategy with a focus on capitalizing on the upward trend while mitigating risk. My recommended strategy is to enter a long position at $3,070, coinciding with the forecast price on January 13, 2026. The stop loss should be set at $3,040, just below the forecast price for January 13, 2026, to protect against a potential downward correction. The initial target price is $3,150, the previous resistance level, offering a reasonable profit margin. If the price breaks through $3,150 and continues to rise, I suggest moving the target price to $3,290, the previous all-time high. This strategy combines trend following, RSI analysis, and Bollinger Bands observation to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP shows a generally upward trend, particularly noticeable from January 2, 2026, with a significant price increase. The RSI consistently fluctuates, dipping below 40 indicating oversold conditions on several days, while occasionally breaching 70, signaling overbought territory. The Bollinger Bands suggest periods of volatility, with the price frequently touching or crossing the upper and lower bands. Considering these factors, I recommend a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands. We will initiate a long position when the RSI falls below 20 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, aiming to capitalize on potential rebounds. For example, on December 26, 2025, the RSI was 37.5 and the lower Bollinger Band was 1.77. We will enter the market at $1.77, set a stop loss at $1.70, and target a price of $2.10. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate support and resistance levels. The support price is consistently at $2.02. Therefore, if the price approaches the support level while the RSI is oversold, it presents a favorable entry point. For instance, on January 8, 2026, the RSI was 56.2 and the price was $2.13. We can enter the market at $2.13, set a stop loss at $2.05, and target a price of $2.30. The forecast data indicates a continued upward trend, with prices expected to reach $2.22 in the near future. This reinforces the long-term bullish outlook and supports the strategy's potential for high returns. Combining these signals, we aim to maximize profit while mitigating risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows an overall upward trend, consistently testing and breaking through resistance levels. The RSI indicates periods of oversold conditions, particularly around December 26 and January 14, providing potential entry points. The Bollinger Bands suggest volatility, with prices frequently touching or exceeding the upper and lower bands. Considering these factors, I recommend a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Band signals with support and resistance levels. We will use a long position strategy when the RSI falls below 30 and the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, aiming to capitalize on potential rebounds. Specifically, let's initiate a long position on January 15, 2026, when the forecast price is $889. The RSI is likely to be below 30, and the price is near the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. Set a stop loss at $880 to protect against potential downside risks. Our initial target price is $897, aligning with the forecast price and the upper Bollinger Band. If the price reaches this target, we can consider moving the stop loss to the entry price of $889 to secure profits and potentially ride further upward momentum, with a secondary target price of $905. This combined strategy leverages multiple indicators for increased confidence and risk management. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana exhibits a clear uptrend. The price has consistently moved above the Bollinger Band center, indicating bullish momentum. The RSI values have generally increased, although fluctuating around the 50 mark, suggesting strengthening buying pressure. The support price of $119 provides a solid floor, while the resistance at $140 has been tested. Considering the forecast for the next week predicting a continuous rise to $141, a long position is warranted. I recommend entering a long position at $137. A stop loss should be placed just below the recent low, at $119 to protect against potential pullbacks. The initial target price should be set at $140, aligning with the resistance level. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate RSI signals. When the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, it presents a favorable entry point. Conversely, when the RSI exceeds 70, suggesting an overbought scenario, it signals a potential exit or reduction in position size. Given the current RSI around 60, we are not in an oversold position. Therefore, I will maintain the long position with an entry at $137, a stop loss at $119, and a target price of $141, utilizing the forecast data. This portfolio combines trend analysis, Bollinger Bands confirmation, and RSI signals for a robust and high-return investment strategy. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON exhibits an overall upward trend, consistently bouncing off the support price of $0.292. The RSI fluctuates between 46.8 and 67.6, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a potential breakout. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price should be $0.295, coinciding with the beginning of the forecast period and a recent price level. A stop-loss order should be placed at $0.288, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. The target price for this trade should be $0.298, aligning with the recent resistance level and the upper Bollinger Band. This provides a reasonable profit margin while acknowledging the potential for further price increases. To further refine the strategy, we can incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI falls below 20, consider a buy order at $0.295, and if it exceeds 80, consider a sell order at $0.298. This combined approach, utilizing both Bollinger Bands and RSI, offers a balanced and potentially high-return investment opportunity. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a generally upward trend, particularly from January 2, 2026, onwards. The RSI indicates that the asset has been in an oversold condition previously, but is now approaching overbought levels. Considering the forecast, the price is expected to remain relatively stable around $0.14. To capitalize on this, I recommend a portfolio strategy combining RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. First, we will implement a strategy based on the RSI. When the RSI falls below 30, we will enter a long position at $0.141. The stop loss will be set at $0.138, just below the lower Bollinger Band. The initial target price will be $0.144, aligning with the forecast and the upper Bollinger Band. Second, we will implement a strategy based on Bollinger Bands. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, we will raise the target price to $0.15. Finally, we will implement a strategy based on support and resistance. If the price approaches the support level of $0.132, we will exit the position and take profits. This combined approach aims to maximize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano demonstrates a slight upward trend, though it has been fluctuating. The RSI readings have mostly been below 50, indicating a generally weak momentum. However, the recent readings are approaching 60, suggesting a potential shift. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price has been oscillating within the bands, indicating volatility. The forecast suggests a continued upward movement, initially around $0.396, then stabilizing around $0.4. Therefore, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position at $0.393, placing a stop-loss order at $0.389, just below the support level, to protect against a sudden downturn. Our initial target price will be $0.403, aligning with the forecast and a modest gain. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI. If the RSI rises above 50 while in the position, we'll consider moving the stop-loss to break even. If the RSI reaches 80 or higher, we'll consider taking partial profits at $0.403 and setting a new target price of $0.414, the resistance level. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band while the RSI is below 30, it's a strong indication of an oversold condition, and we could consider entering a long position at $0.396, with a stop-loss at $0.389 and a target of $0.403. This layered approach, combining trend analysis, technical indicators, and forecast data, aims to maximize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin Cash shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating between a support of $629 and a resistance of $654. The RSI values have mostly remained within the 50 to 70 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increasing volatility. Considering these factors, I propose a moderately bullish strategy. We will enter a long position at $639, coinciding with the first forecast price. We will set a stop-loss at $632, just below the recent low and slightly below the center of the Bollinger Bands, to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $652, aligning with the subsequent forecast price and a potential test of the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI drops below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will enter a long position at the prevailing price, with a stop-loss at $629, the support level. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 70, indicating an overbought condition, we will consider a short position, but given the overall upward trend, we will prioritize long positions. If the price reaches $654, the resistance level, we will move the stop-loss to $642 to secure profits and potentially set a new target price of $658. This combined approach leverages both forecast data and technical indicators to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Wrapped Beacon ETH exhibits a clear uptrend, breaking through the resistance level of $3,400 and reaching $3,570. The RSI consistently fluctuates, indicating periods of both overbought and oversold conditions. Currently, the RSI is around 52.6, suggesting a neutral to slightly bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is approaching the upper band, indicating a potential for a pullback. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $3,280. A stop-loss should be placed just below the lower Bollinger Band at $3,050 to mitigate potential losses if the price reverses. The initial target price is set at $3,500, aligning with the previous resistance level. To refine the strategy, I will incorporate an RSI-based adjustment. If the RSI falls below 30, consider adding another $300 to the target price. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, consider taking partial profits at $3,400 and moving the stop loss to the center of the Bollinger Band, $3,280. This dynamic approach allows us to capitalize on the ongoing uptrend while managing risk effectively. The combination of Bollinger Bands and RSI provides a robust framework for navigating the volatility of wrapped beacon ETH and maximizing potential returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana exhibits a clear uptrend. The price has consistently moved above the Bollinger Band center, indicating bullish momentum. The RSI values have generally increased, although fluctuating around the 50 mark, suggesting strengthening buying pressure. The support price of $119 provides a solid floor, while the resistance at $140 has been tested. Considering the forecast for the next week predicting a continuous rise to $141, a long position is warranted. I recommend entering a long position at $137. A stop loss should be placed just below the recent low, at $119 to protect against potential pullbacks. The initial target price should be set at $140, aligning with the resistance level. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate RSI signals. When the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, it presents a favorable entry point. Conversely, when the RSI exceeds 70, suggesting an overbought scenario, it signals a potential exit or reduction in position size. Given the current RSI around 60, we are not in an oversold position. Therefore, I will maintain the long position with an entry at $137, a stop loss at $119, and a target price of $141, utilizing the forecast data. This portfolio combines trend analysis, Bollinger Bands confirmation, and RSI signals for a robust and high-return investment strategy. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana exhibits a clear uptrend. The price has consistently moved above the Bollinger Band center, indicating bullish momentum. The RSI values have generally increased, although fluctuating around the 50 mark, suggesting strengthening buying pressure. The support price of $119 provides a solid floor, while the resistance at $140 has been tested. Considering the forecast for the next week predicting a continuous rise to $141, a long position is warranted. I recommend entering a long position at $137. A stop loss should be placed just below the recent low, at $119 to protect against potential pullbacks. The initial target price should be set at $140, aligning with the resistance level. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate RSI signals. When the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, it presents a favorable entry point. Conversely, when the RSI exceeds 70, suggesting an overbought scenario, it signals a potential exit or reduction in position size. Given the current RSI around 60, we are not in an oversold position. Therefore, I will maintain the long position with an entry at $137, a stop loss at $119, and a target price of $141, utilizing the forecast data. This portfolio combines trend analysis, Bollinger Bands confirmation, and RSI signals for a robust and high-return investment strategy. Based on the historical data and forecast, just shows a clear upward trend. The price has consistently moved above the Bollinger Band center, indicating bullish momentum. The RSI values have been fluctuating but generally trending upwards, currently at 69.4, suggesting a strong upward trend. Considering the support price of $0.0427 and the resistance price of $0.0466, and the forecast prices ranging from $0.0422 to $0.0456, a long position is warranted. I recommend entering a long position at $0.0422. Place a stop-loss order at $0.0417, just below the recent high and the upper Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. The initial target price should be $0.045, aligning with the forecast price and the resistance level. To maximize potential returns, I suggest a layered approach. If the price reaches $0.045, consider moving the stop loss to the entry price of $0.0422, securing profits while allowing for further upside. If the price continues to rise, a secondary target price of $0.0456 can be set, based on the highest forecast price. This strategy combines technical indicators, price action, and forecast data to capitalize on the current upward trend in JAST. The layered approach allows for profit-taking and risk management, ensuring a high-return investment with controlled exposure. Based on the historical data and forecast, Virtual's protocol demonstrates a strong upward trend, breaking through the resistance level of $1.14. The RSI consistently rises above 50, indicating bullish momentum. The forecast for the next week suggests continued price increases, reaching $1.12. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price will be $0.984, coinciding with the support level and a relatively low RSI reading of 38.6. To manage risk, set a stop-loss order at $0.95, slightly below the support level. The initial target price will be $1.08, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and a conservative profit expectation. To maximize potential returns, I suggest a tiered target strategy. Once the first target of $1.08 is reached, move the stop-loss to the entry price of $0.984 to secure profits and protect against potential downturns. The next target price will be $1.12, based on the forecast. If the price reaches $1.12, consider taking partial profits and trailing a stop-loss to capture further gains. This approach combines trend following with risk management, capitalizing on the current bullish momentum while safeguarding against unexpected reversals. Based on the historical data and forecast, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance shows a clear upward trend, breaking through the resistance level of $0.268 and consistently reaching new highs. The RSI indicates that the asset is approaching overbought territory, particularly on January 8, 2026, with a reading of 71.5. However, the forecast data for the next week suggests continued upward momentum, with prices expected to reach $0.295. Therefore, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.274. A stop-loss should be placed just below the support level of $0.264, at $0.26, to mitigate potential losses if the trend reverses. The initial target price should be set at $0.295, aligning with the forecast data and recent resistance levels. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The asset has consistently traded within the bands, indicating volatility. Given the upward trend and the forecast, I suggest a tiered target approach. The first target remains $0.295. If this is achieved, we'll move the stop-loss to the center of the Bollinger Bands, currently around $0.231, to lock in profits and protect against a potential pullback. A secondary target can be set at $0.3, contingent on the asset maintaining its upward trajectory and breaking through the $0.295 level. This portfolio combines RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, STAC shows a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently moving higher, supported by a strong bullish momentum. The RSI indicates that the asset has been fluctuating between oversold and overbought levels, but recently it has been trending towards overbought territory. The Bollinger Bands also confirm this, with the price consistently moving above the middle band. Considering the forecast for the next week, the price is expected to continue its upward trajectory, hovering around $0.346 to $0.352. Therefore, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.333. The stop-loss should be set at $0.348, just below the support level, to protect against a potential downside reversal. The initial target price should be $0.354, aligning with the resistance level and recent forecast prices. To maximize returns and manage risk, I suggest a tiered target strategy. After reaching the initial target of $0.354, consider moving the stop loss to break even to secure profits and allow for further upside potential. If the price continues to rise, a second target price of $0.36 can be set, representing another resistance level. This strategy combines technical indicators, price action, and forecast data to identify a high-probability trading opportunity with clearly defined entry, stop loss, and target levels. This approach aims to capitalize on the current bullish trend while mitigating potential losses through strategic risk management. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bittensor shows a strong uptrend with significant volatility. The RSI consistently moved above 30, indicating strengthening momentum, and the price recently broke through the 292 resistance level. The forecast data for the next week projects continued upward movement, suggesting a favorable environment for a bullish strategy. I recommend a long position targeting the continued upward trend. Entry price should be $266, with a stop loss placed below the support level at $265 to mitigate potential downside risk. The initial target price is $284, based on the forecast and recent resistance levels. To refine this strategy, I will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price is currently trading above the upper band, which could indicate an overbought condition. However, given the strong upward trend, I believe a continued long position is justified. If the price retraces towards the middle band around $275, it presents a favorable opportunity to add to the position. The final target price should be $288, aligning with the upper Bollinger Band and recent resistance levels. This approach combines RSI and Bollinger Bands to capitalize on the bullish momentum while managing risk through strategic stop-loss placement and target price adjustments. Based on the historical data and forecast, Tezos shows a clear uptrend, particularly evident in the recent days with consistently increasing close prices and a forecast predicting further growth. The RSI consistently moved above 50, indicating a bullish momentum, and briefly entered the overbought territory above 80, suggesting potential for a pullback but overall positive sentiment. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, confirming volatility and the potential for price swings. Considering these factors, I propose a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.585, coinciding with the first forecast price. The stop loss will be set at $0.556, just below the support level, to protect against a potential downturn. The initial target price will be $0.633, aligning with the highest forecast price. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we'll consider adding to our position. Conversely, if the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, we'll consider taking partial profits. This combined strategy provides a robust approach, capitalizing on the prevailing uptrend while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placement and dynamic adjustments based on technical indicators. The portfolio will prioritize the long position with a 70% allocation, with the remaining 30% allocated to cash for flexibility to capitalize on future opportunities. Based on the historical data and forecast, POL-X-Matic shows a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently making higher highs and higher lows, and the RSI is currently trending upwards, though fluctuating. The forecast for the next week indicates continued upward momentum. Given the current RSI of 70.3, which is approaching the overbought level of 80, we should be cautious but also recognize the strong uptrend. I propose a strategy that combines trend following and mean reversion principles. We will enter a long position when the RSI dips below 30, aiming to capitalize on temporary pullbacks within the larger uptrend. The support level of $0.133 acts as a key price point to watch. Specifically, I recommend entering a long position at $0.13, placing a stop-loss order at $0.128 to protect against a sudden reversal. The initial target price is $0.146, aligning with the forecast and the recent resistance level. If the price reaches $0.146, we can consider moving the stop-loss to break even and potentially setting a second target price at $0.149, near the previous resistance. This strategy balances the potential for high returns with risk management, acknowledging the overbought conditions and the possibility of short-term corrections while capitalizing on the overall bullish trend. The strategy combines the RSI and Bollinger Band signals to maximize profit. Based on the historical data and forecast, JasmyCoin exhibits a strong upward trend with recent volatility. The RSI consistently moved above 50, indicating increasing buying pressure. The forecast data suggests a continued upward trajectory, with prices potentially reaching $0.0103. Considering the support and resistance levels, and incorporating the RSI and Bollinger Band signals, I recommend a long position strategy. Enter a long position at $0.00832, placing a stop-loss order at $0.007 to mitigate potential downside risk. Set a target price of $0.0103, aiming for a substantial profit. To optimize the strategy, I will combine RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance analysis. When the RSI falls below 30, oversold, buy JasmyCoin. When the RSI exceeds 70, overbought, sell JasmyCoin. When the price touches the support level of $0.00661, buy JasmyCoin. When the price touches the resistance level of $0.0096, sell JasmyCoin. The most efficient portfolio will be to enter a long position at $0.00832, with a stop-loss at $0.007 and a target price of $0.0103. This strategy leverages the upward trend, manages risk with a defined stop-loss, and aims for significant returns.